When Steve Jobs was a kid, his father asked Steve to apply paint on the fence outside the garden. Steve went and took the assignment and he applied paint from outside view of the fence. His father came and asked Steve, "Did you paint the fence?" Steve said, "Of course, yes." And when father checked, he realized Steve only painted the fence from the outside. His father said, "Steve, you have done a good job, but why did you only paint the fence from outside?" Steve said, "Father, people will see only the outside. No one will see inside of the fence." But Steve's father said, "No, Steve, but we will see inside." Then Steve painted the inner side of the fence. When Steve took over the Apple and when he was developing the Macintosh computer, he provided a brief to his engineering team. He said, "The outside of the computer has to be beautiful, but inside of the computer has to be awesome. And it has to be clear and it has to be better than the outside of the computer." Then the chief engineer asked the same question. "Steve, why do you want us to spend so much of time on developing inside of the computer and making it beautiful because no one will see inside?" But Steve gave the same answer which his father gave when he was asked to paint the fence. He said, "But we will see inside." So because of that, we have to make the inside of the computer beautiful, because outside of the computer is a reflection of what is inside. If you look at Sri Lanka's economy, what we are going through is a reflection of what is inside. We didn't do any economic reforms for the last 30-40 years. So it is obvious and there is no surprise why Sri Lanka is going through this crisis. There is no point pointing fingers at each other. It is our fault that we are going through this difficult time because we did not do any economic reforms. Our markets are not working. Government is imposing price controls. Governments are doing businesses. And when that happens, it is obvious that any country would go through a crisis. That's the same thing happened in Argentina, that same thing happened in Venezuela, that the same thing happened in Zimbabwe, and it will happen to many other countries if they do not allow markets to work. Check whether the inside is beautiful than the outside, because outside is a reflection of what's going inside.